Today on the Hangout, the Raps come from behind against the Grizzlies and are primed for a date with the Warriors. Everything is going wrong in Washington. Who's the first man out? And has Philly had their fill of fulls? Hangout! Basketball fans, welcome into Canada's home for Talking Hoops. This is the Hangout, and I am Akil Augustine. As always, I'm joined by three people who think they know more about basketball than I do, and I shout at them, yell at them, and complain while they speak over and don't answer my questions. Dan Gladman, public enemy number one, the man in black. Faisal, my brother from Sportsnet, and of course, up-and-coming director who casted me in his next feature film, Evan Reese. Love having all three of you guys in here, but let's talk about it. The Toronto Raptors have been in this position before. Tops in the Eastern Conference, but now they're tops in the league, sitting at 18-4. Faisal, does this feel the same, or does somehow this year feel different as a Raptors fan?
Oh, all of this is the same to me, right?
Yeah?
I mean, obviously not literally, right? They have a better team, they have a better this, they have a better that. It's like running through this same formula just to get to April, right? None of this really matters. I know the next stretch of games is crazy and wild, and everyone is like, oh, good measuring. I don't think it matters at all, because we've seen them do the best they've ever done in the regular season a year ago, only for it to mean absolutely nothing. So it's just optics, right? They're getting through this to get to the next phase, and I'm anxiously waiting for that next phase to start.
So the change in the roster, the change in the superstar doesn't compel you to say that this is a little bit different? Evan, I'll ask you now.
You asked me this question exactly a year ago.
I did ask you this question.
I said it doesn't matter what seeding the Raptors are going to be. LeBron James is going to own them in the playoffs.
But now he's not there.
That he's not there, neither is DeRozan. So you got to say things are different. It's just how different. And like you said, time will tell.
So do you feel better than you did at this time last year?
I do feel better because they're more dominant. The bench players like Pascal have really blossomed.
Yes.
JV is slid into his role perfectly. I like Nick Nurse a lot more than I liked Casey.
Wow, don't say that to me. Nick, I like both those guys, but Casey's personally close to me.
Even only now, but it's like, hey, there isn't that behemoth waiting for them in the Eastern Conference.
Bron's gone. Dan Gladman biting his tongue over there. What's your opinion?
Come on. It's totally different. You have two guys in the starting five who are NBA champions, who know what it takes to get there. They have the experience. And what we're seeing in this team that's beating everybody and beating a lot of teams handily is that next gear. And that's something I've never seen from the Raptors before. It's those 4 or 5 minutes, you don't know when it's coming, but they turn up the defense and they just run you out of the building at that point. We've never seen that before, and I am more comfortable and confident in this team than I have ever seen the Raptors before.
I never agree with Dan. Faisal, I'll let you comment, but Dan, I agree with you.
Like, I agree with you in the literal sense. Of course it's different. You both said it. Like, they're a better team, and I'm not disagreeing with that.
Oh, backtrack.
No, this is not a backtrack.
Here we go.
Not a backtrack. What I'm saying is none of this really matters. Like, they had a top 5 offense, top 5 defense last year, only for it to mean nothing in the second round of the playoffs, right?
Look,
I get that they're better.
They got unlucky. They went up against the boogeyman last year. He finished in fourth. Cleveland finished in 4th. I mean, it was unfortunate that it worked out that way. But you called him somebody said the behemoth.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist this year. Right now, the Raptors are the behemoth in the East.
I'm enjoying them a lot more. I'm not saying they're not good. That's not what I'm saying.
Don't worry. We're not going to torture you with your comments. Let's move on to something else. We're sticking with the Raptors, and we're looking ahead. Everyone knows Thursday night the Warriors are in town. But as we know right now, no Draymond, no Steph. But look at it. Okay. I get it. No one's really excited for Cleveland on Saturday, but you got Denver, Jimmy Butler's Philly, Milwaukee, and a surprise Clippers team. So over this next 7 games is going to be a real test. The first question, first off, like, how are they going to come out of this? Like, I want some numbers, Dan. I'm putting you on the spot.
Easy. That's 5 out of 7. They'll go 5-2, and this is what they want. Nick Nurse said it in a press conference in the recent days. They want a challenge. They want to play these tough teams and measure themselves up.
I'll follow up with you in a second, but 5-2, what do you got them going through that?
Yeah, like 5-2, 4-3. That's still a good
pick one.
4-3. I'd say 4-3.
Just to be
because again, I'm worried about the stretches that they don't produce, right? They can turn it on for 5-10 minutes a game and then win the game like that. But against those teams on that list, like, they are much
those teams
tougher
go through
opponents.
Those teams do those
Reese,
up and down too.
6-1, baby.
I knew you would come with the heat. Now, let's
go 7-0. You come on.
No, I'm not
going 7.
But here's a follow-up question for it, and I'll start with you, Evan, and we'll work our way back down. What do you think you're going to learn about this Raptors squad over this next 7 games?
Well, a lot of it was what happened in the Memphis game. they dug themselves a huge hole in the first half. Their offense was great, but their defense was trash.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, they came out changed. Lowry and Kawhi dug in.
Turnovers, too, were key.
Yeah. They just didn't have it. And then they came back, and you know what? There were some adjustments made that wouldn't have been made last year. And they stuck at, they dug in, and Memphis is weirdly really good this year.
I'm surprised Memphis was able to keep up with the pace.
They make you work, and it's almost like every guy on their team has like a mid-range floater that just goes every other time.
Conley's back. That's the key.
And that's a big
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
foul shooting again, and that's
But you two, talk to me about what you expect to learn from the Raps.
I want to see the evolution of Kawhi in a late game close situation. I think it's gotten better, and Memphis game was like a prime example. He wasn't just shooting the ball; he was distributing, he was moving, and I think that's good. You'll get a close game or two in that 7-game stretch. I want to see how the Raptors continue to evolve as a clutch late game team, and I think we're going to see some of that.
Well, there's one game I'm looking at there, the Milwaukee game, and I want to see that's the first grudge match of a game that they lost earlier this year. And
without
also,
Kawhi, though. Without Kawhi.
Yeah, but without Giannis, too.
Ooh.
So to me, this is a potential Eastern Conference Finals going way down the road. That's the game where I'm going to learn that this team takes things personally and does not accept losing.
All right. And for me, in that, it's about the bench. The Raptors' bench is way better than Milwaukee's bench.
Hold on. I want to talk about the starters for a quick second. Actually, I want to talk about someone who doesn't even play or coach the Raptors. That's Greg Popovich, who, of course, last week came out with a comment that made the ears of Raptors fans perk up. And he said that Kawhi was a great player, but he wasn't a leader or anything. Kawhi's talent will always be missed, but that leadership wasn't his deal at the time. Tonight they missed Kawhi's talent because they only scored about 30-something in the first half. But here's the question. Is leadership needed of the quote-unquote best player on this team? Faisal, I want to hear from you.
No, I don't think it's needed at all. I mean, first of all, he was on a team that had Tim Duncan, that had Tony Parker, that had Manu Ginobili. He didn't have to do that. He could evolve.
That had Greg Popovich.
Exactly. He could evolve as a basketball player, and that's what they're doing here. Like, nobody really needs to be motivated to play this game at the level they need to for this Raptors team anymore. You don't need Kawhi to be all rah, go get it done.
Play.
Just show that you can do it, and others will follow that way, and that's what it seems the team has followed from him.
Reese, you agree?
And I do agree. And I even think last year, even with DeMar there, Kyle is still, he's the leader of the team.
Of course he is.
And what he was saying, what's his name? Sorry. Kawhi was a rookie in San Antonio.
Yes, he did come into a...
He did not come in to be leader. Here, he's brought in to be their franchise player.
And one of those silent kind of leaders.
And it's like leading by doing.
Dan, you're the closest to the team.
As Leo Routon said on TSN 1050 a few days ago, it was very unlike Popovich to make that comment.
Yeah.
It was a surprise. I mean,
he's hurt.
He does not talk about former players in that light. Look, Kawhi Leonard is a leader on the Raptors. He leads by example. He leads on the floor. I hear his voice on defense. I hear him telling his teammates where he is, where they need to be. You think Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby aren't being led by Kawhi Leonard? Of course they are. Yeah. And in San Antonio, the 2014 NBA Finals, while Duncan was playing important minutes, but he wasn't the focal point, and Kawhi Leonard was the MVP. Don't tell me he wasn't a leader in that series. They wouldn't have won it without him, with his talent or his leadership. He's a quiet leader. It is such a thing.
There are different types of leadership.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I completely
Stop agreeing
agree
with me.
I know, this is a weird episode. You look great. You're saying things that make sense. I'm in like Bizarro world.
Bizarro world.
Anyways, we still got more to break down. Hopefully myself and Dan can disagree on something about the Washington Wizards, although I doubt it because the Great Wall of Washington has holes in it. Beal needs the ball. What happens next? Somebody call me an Uber. Hang out!